Welcome to the Spendwise Moms channel, your homemaking resource hub. I was having a hard time figuring out what I could do for a 10-minute declutter this week. Then I went to find a recipe in my recipe binder and realized that it had become a big mess. Since it's a bigger job than I can do in one 10-minute period, I decided to break it up into manageable parts. There are 6 sections in my recipe binder, so I'm going to do one section at a time. Each section may take less than 10 minutes, and that's okay. Sometimes it's easier to organize when there are clearly identified parts instead of tackling everything at once. The first section is breads. I will take all of the loose recipes out and find the bread recipes. Then I'll go through the bread recipes and take out any duplicates or recipes that I don't want to keep. The rest of the recipes will be put in clear plastic sleeves to protect them from things splashed on them when I cook. The bread section was the easiest to do, and it went by really quickly. I took a break after this section and came back when I had time to do a little more. I could have waited until tomorrow or even next week if needed, since I have each part clearly identified and I can pick up where I left off. The next 10-minute declutter of the recipe book was to go through the dessert recipes. I looked through the loose recipes to see if there were any dessert recipes there. I decided to just take a minute and organize all of the loose recipes into each of the sections that I have in my binder. It took about 2 or 3 minutes, but not long. Then I looked through the dessert recipes in the binder and took out any that I don't want to make anymore or I don't like enough to keep. I put the ones I wanted to keep for now into the binder and put any loose ones into plastic sleeves. I threw away the rest that I didn't want to keep. The third section was soups, but instead of doing those, I decided to do the miscellaneous section since I only had one recipe I wanted to add, and it took less than 60 seconds to complete that section. Next, I did the side dishes. There were a few recipes I had found that were in the wrong section, so I got rid of those or put them where they should belong. I then took the 2 recipes left and put them in plastic sleeves in the section for side dishes. I need to get some new dividers since several of mine are gone or ripped. I can do that sometime in the next week. I decided to do the main dishes next. I figured they would be pretty easy. I sorted through the recipes I had and the loose recipes and decided which to keep. I threw away the ones I didn't want and put the ones I wanted into the plastic sleeves and then put them into the recipe book. Last were the soup recipes. Since it was going to take the most thought, I went through the soup recipes in the binder and the loose recipes and took out what I didn't want anymore and kept what I wanted. I put them in the plastic sleeves and then I threw away the unwanted recipes. My binder is much more organized than before. I can easily find a recipe now instead of having to take the time to look through all the loose recipes and the other recipes that were mixed up in the binder to find what I want to make. It was really nice to do it in small sections, taking a break between each section until I was ready to organize again. I'm glad it didn't take as long as I thought it would. So many things are that way. We think they're going to take a long time, and we're surprised at the fact that they really don't take much time at all once we just get started. Find a drawer, a shelf, or a small space in your home that you can organize in 10 minutes. If you choose a bigger space, divide it up into very clearly defined small segments that can easily get done in 10 minutes for each section. Even though it's easy to avoid organizing, it really feels good just to plow through it and get it done. Then you don't have to dread it anymore. It's done and it feels great to have it done. Thanks for watching the Spendwise Moms channel. Please subscribe for more videos like this.